What is up, everybody? I am Kevin Iole, and on February 8th in Las Vegas, Nevada at Mandalay Bay Resort and Casino, this young man, Teofimo Lopez, the takeover, will be back in action. He will be defending that WBO super lightweight championship that he won last year by really thrashing Josh Taylor. I don't know anybody other than him that saw that kind of a beating coming. He will be fighting Jamaine Ortiz. And Teo, welcome. I appreciate you joining me. And it sounds like Jamaine Ortiz has plans for a takeover. Let me read you this quote that he said the other day at an open workout. I think I'm more athletic and I have more speed than Teofimo. I have a better jab and movement. That's four things. I have a lot of advantage that will show when we fight. I know you have respect for Jamaine Ortiz, but what do you make of those kind of comments?
I got no respect for that kid. What are you talking about? No. Teofimo don't respect no fighter that he faces at all. Not at all, Unless they have something to tell me and show me in the ring, I don't respect nobody. I go in there and do what I got to do. So, talk is cheap. Action speaks louder. So we'll see what he could do come February 8th. Ain't nobody overlooking him or anything like that. I know what's at task. I know how much I have to lose and how much he has to gain with this fight. And this is my time. This is my time to show everyone it's the takeover, worldwide takeover.
He had a good win over Jamel Herring. I think he opened a lot of eyes in the way he fought against Loma, right? He lost that fight, but a lot of people thought he looked good in that fight and fought really well. Is there anything that he does that you feel like you have to be on guard for or be worried about at all?
I think the only thing that I could say with Jamaine Ortiz that, prior to me facing him back 9 years ago in the amateurs, actually, in the finals of National Golden Gloves in 2015, the only thing I really got to watch out for is his unawkwardness, his awkwardness of punches that he throws from different angles. It's a little bit more elusive rather than Loma's. However, it's not something that I'm not familiar with. So these are the things that I've just been working on in camp throughout this training camp. And, I feel great. I'm learning new things every day, new ideas. And that's the whole purpose of life. And especially in the gym. That's why I love boxing. Boxing teaches you a lot of different arsenals. And it's almost as if I feel like I'm mastering my own craft. And that's the beauty of it. And I have yet to even hit my prime, Kevin.
I know. I mean, you got a lot of things ahead of you that look really enticing for boxing fans. That's for sure. The one thing I wanted to ask you about is the way you performed against Josh Taylor. I mean, Josh Taylor became the undisputed super lightweight champion. Looked really good in doing that. Had moved. He had a struggle against Jack Catterall. A lot of people thought that he lost that fight, but still he was the undisputed champion. And you went out there under I think tough circumstances. Like there was a lot of turmoil going around and everything, and you performed maybe your career best. What is it about you that you're able to block out all that craziness that goes on outside the ring? And when the bell rings, you're just focused on one person and not really on anything else.
It goes back to my name, not just Teofimo, but Theo, the gift of God. And it's just really in those forms of, in the moments of everything, I believe that a lot of eyes come to see me, whether they win or lose, but they all come to see me, and in that night, I take advantage of it. The more the merrier is what I like to say, and something that should have happened with me and Loma with the magnitude of that fight, at least now we're having it with this fight as far as the audience, and a lot of entertainers and performers and athletes coming in that week. So it's just great. It's going to be all eyes on us that night, just me and Jamaine Ortiz right before the Super Bowl, right before all these things to come and play. So this is great for me. I'm very thankful, very grateful for Top Rank and ESPN, and this is a great platform to be in along with my promotion of Takeover Promotions.
Takeover Promotion. So are you actually going to promote fights someday, or is Takeover Promotions going to go to the scrapyard once it's done for you?
No. My whole thing is to actually be of the likes like Golden Boy Promotions, be of the likes of those that have paved the way, like Top Rank, who have created many stars, many champions. I'm here for a long time, and I really want that to really take into consideration now moving forward. And the only way I'm able to do that is still fight along that way, and then gain the knowledge of business while doing so. interacting with so many businessmen in the sport of boxing, and pretty much showing them that, hey, I'm more than just a fighter, and I would like to be treated that way and acknowledge me that way. So, we'll see with time. Everything takes time. Everything takes patience. Patience is everything, and patience pays virtue. So I look forward to really signing a lot of fighters, a lot of young talent that's coming on the way. I'll probably go to Paris to watch these young Olympian champions come out and see what they do.
You know what, dude? I think when you're a promoter, you're going to have gray hair like me dealing with guys like you, right? When those fighters
I
that
would
have,
like that. I would like that, man. I think it attracts more of the ladies. I think you
there you
probably
go.
would say yes.
I think we should ask Kevin Korn, the top rank PR expert. He knows, right? He can tell us.
All right, tell me about it. Mr. Corn, man, he know what he doing.
Anyways, but you had 2 wins before you fought Josh Taylor, but it seemed like maybe if I can call it a burden, the burden was relieved of your Kambosos loss. It seemed like in that last fight when you won that fight, it seemed like now all was right in your world when you beat Josh Taylor, like you had fixed whatever wrong there might have been. And I know you weren't healthy for that fight, and there were a lot of issues that were going on when you fought Kambosos. But do you feel like that you put that in the past by the way you showed against Josh Taylor?
Yeah, I would like so. I would like that to be. However, so many people, when you move forward, sometimes they want to push you back to your past. And, for myself, with the Cambosa situation, I think that it was a blessing at the same time because I needed to lose in order to win, as part of boxing. I mean, how many great champions you could say, Kevin Iole? How many can you say on top of your head that have lost and still are one of the greatest fighters to ever lace up a pair of boxing gloves?
Yeah, well, there have been a few out there, including Mr. Muhammad Ali, who I have in pictures all over here. So yes, I think a few have done that, but I give you credit for doing that.
No, yeah, most definitely. This is why we take challenges, and it's not about your it's about facing the best at those moments in those times. And I learned a lot from myself. I had to kill my ego, and now, I'm working on that. I'm working on more of my soul, working more of who I am and what I am to not just my sport of boxing, but to all those children out there that actually look up to me, and that's the most important part, is about inspiring the youth, inspiring the next generation that is to come. So all I can do is do my part, stay out of trouble, and keep winning and keep knocking them down.
I want to ask you this. I did I was watching earlier today an interview I did with you. I believe it was late 2018 or early 2019. I think at that point you were my 2-time prospect of the year, right? So I think it was
Yes,
back
I
back to
was.
back.
Yes.
And I had interviewed you, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney on back days. And all three of you guys said at that time, late 2018, early 2019, we're all going to fight each other. And Gervonta Davis was in that group now. And here we sit now, and the only fight that's happened between that group was Gervonta Davis and Ryan Garcia. Why hasn't that happened? And given the fact that all 4 of you guys are on top of this business, do you think that you can make it happen and the 4 of you get together and fight each other like happened with the 4 Kings in the 80s?
I believe it's all up to the investors that are invested in them. I've tried my part. I've tried to make these fights happen, and with these guys that you have just named, so it's not up to me now. It's up to them. They say they're the biggest star. They say that they're this, they're that. However, I don't see not one of them fighting on Super Bowl week, so, this is the super fight for myself, and let alone just it being here on the biggest and the biggest stage possible, and it's in Las Vegas, Nevada. So I think that all these things, people have these assumptions of who wants to fight who, who's ducking who, but they don't really know what's going on behind the scenes. I've done my part, and I've actually, have taken the chance to try to make these fights happen. However, a lot of these fighters are, I don't know, they're just being told by somebody else what to do with their career.
If you don't fight those guys, and you're a young guy and you still have a long way to go, and there's going to be other people that come up that are going to be big fights for you. But if you don't fight those guys, will you feel like you miss something in your career if you retire and don't have, get in the ring with any of them?
No, absolutely not. I don't feel like I missed anything. I mean, I felt back to back 2 guys that were the best in their weight divisions at the time, Vasily Lomachenko at 135 and Josh Taylor at 140. Josh Taylor being undisputed world champion, and Lomachenko being the lineal world champion at the time at 135. So beating those two iconic and future Hall of Fame fighters and beating them at their class, shows a lot of improvement in myself, and I'm only just turning 26 now. I haven't hit my prime. So I look forward to maybe the likes of Terence Crawford, Terence Bud Crawford, whether it's at 47, 54, we can meet in between. I'm looking forward to those type of guys because they're actually willing to fight. These other ones are just pawns in a chess match game. So, I like looking after like the knights and the rooks, and especially, the queen. Definitely got to get the queen's gambit,
I thought you were talking about the Golden Knights. Come on. So let me ask you 2 or 3 more questions, but let me ask you very quickly about Terence Crawford. I mean, I wrote a column the other day saying I thought he should fight Canelo, right? That's a fight, he would be if he won that fight, he'd be undisputed in 3 weight classes. Tim Bradley from ESPN, the new Hall of Famer, said he thinks that Crawford could win that fight. How do you think you match up with Crawford, and what would you have if you did get a chance to fight him? What would be the biggest challenge for you going up against him, given what you've seen of him?
To me, I see that he's an elusive fighter. He's ambidextrous, and he knows how to fight in those ambidextrous ways very well. So I believe that, with Crawford, he's someone that definitely you got to keep your eye on, can't slack at all. He takes advantage of any moment that he feels like you're slowing down. So, that's some type of challenges that I like, and as far as like if you guys are talking about him and Canelo, that's a big change for him, definitely going up in weight. And Canelo doesn't, he blows up after the weigh-ins, so but it's all about skills. If you're a boxer, it's never about how big the guy is. It's always about how much does he know when he's inside that square circle.
I think a guy that we both know, Floyd Mayweather, used to say skills pay the bills. So I kind of know what he's talking about there. Let's wrap with this. How, you're fighting in February, so you've got 10 months left in the year. Are you going to be active? Are we going to see you 2 more times this year? Or are you that superstar kind of prospect now where you're only going to fight twice a year?
No, I leave it all in the hands of above, so to be honest, I plan on, my goal is to fight 3 more times after this, so it's all about staying active, staying productive on my craft and, getting better along that journey with it, so I remember back in the 80s and 90s, I used to fight, the minimum was 5 times, so it's like, why can't we bring something back like that, and I think me being the takeover that I am, a lot of these young fighters, a lot of these young champions follow my footsteps to see what they could do next with me. So, I'll lead the way and they'll follow.
I'm going to let somebody else take over this interview. Teofimo, always fun talking to you, my friend. Thank you for your time. I will see you at Mandalay Bay next week.
It's going to be lights out, man. Lights out. Lights out, Lopez. Let's go, baby.